Sustainability is probably the most important concern.
We never think about the importance of searching for the origins of our food, where they're coming from, if they're in season, what GMOs were put in it.
I wasn't educated before going into this week, and it's very big.
If I could go back, I'll do it all over again.
Sometimes what you can accomplish in a week is pretty amazing.
It was a very eye-opening experience.
Primarily, the people involved with building the program were Dean Galloway and Bill Poston, who has been a faculty member for us for many years now. And he's also involved with the Stelos Alliance, and so he was able to bring both of those worlds together, his experience teaching for honors and his experience with the Stelos Alliance, and we were obviously happy to work with him and build out this program.
I heard about Stelos when I was applying for scholarships, and I saw the Stelos Alliance scholarship, so I was like, what's Stelos?
Funny story, my freshman year I had this amazing peer mentor who during my meeting suggested it to me. She was part of the program, she was in the first cohort before me, and she recommended it to me to join.
The Stelos Alliance followed me on Instagram, and then I was looking at my followers, and I was like, who are these people?
And after talking with her and my RA, who's also in the program a little more, I decided something I would enjoy doing.
I looked into it, I Googled it, and then it said Stelos Scholars, so I was like, I'm just going to apply. I didn't think much of it, I was just like, I'm just gonna do it, and then if they want me, great. If not, I gave it a try, and then here I am.
We wanted to get a group of students together who needed a challenge, and we wanted to find an impactful way to get them to explore the big problems facing society. Most of those big problems are interdisciplinary in nature, so we tried to build a really diverse pool of students to work in this program and look at some of these problems and see what kind of solutions they could come up with, realizing that we can't solve them in a day, but at least we can train the next generation of leaders to be aware of how to analyze problems and how to bring multiple points of view to bear in developing a solution.
Going into it, I was a little bit nervous, because you don't know any of these people, you don't know exactly what's going to go on.
They don't tell us anything.
You're given a short itinerary, but not really super detailed at first.
Honestly, I appreciated not having to worry I have to be here, here, and here at this time. We had to stay on schedule. They took care of all that for us. That being said, it was plenty stressful.
My God, that whole week felt like it was one day and a month, all in the same. It was insane.
During the design sprint, we spent most of the week just gathering information and experiences. We went to the community gardens, we went to the Whole Foods National Headquarters and Salt and Thyme down in Austin, and just got to talk to people who knew a lot about sustainability in the food systems. And then the last day or two is when we really came together with our teams and put all of our information into action.
I didn't really know that much going into it, especially not anything about food sustainability. I didn't realize how harmful our conventional farming techniques were to the environment, and how big the problem it is, and it's just it's being overlooked.
I knew about sustainability in the environmental sense of air and plastic and all of that stuff, but I didn't even know food sustainability was a thing.
Learning the design thinking skills and some of the creative competencies that come along with that are really important, because they teach you, again, how to engage across differences and how to really pull apart a problem and think through stakeholders and what their needs and interests are. And I think that's the way we're going to start making change in society.
There were so many experiences, and we felt prepared, to go into this design sprint and going into this project with a lot of information to give.
So we came up with an app. Our design was we wanted to connect local business owners with local growing suppliers. That way we can make it easier. So within, it was kind of like a Tinder-esque type app. So just suppliers could get on there, and local business owners who needed produce could get on there and just communicate, get in contact with these local suppliers in order to communicate how much food they can give them, what they can give them, so they could incorporate that into their business supply.
If you know where that food came from, you know exactly how it was processed, you know what was put in that food, you know how it was raised ethically, or how it was raised according to environmental standards. And I think that that's super important, because you're keeping the community woven together and making more connections within the community, and just, it's all about people and connections, and that will make people more eager to eat sustainably.
Even though we're trying to be inclusive as we talk about these things, we have to be careful in how we communicate with some of the stakeholders, because we're trying to solve the same problems that they're trying to solve, but we're not necessarily jumping across that divide, even though we're probably using the same ideas to solve them. So I think we just have to tread really carefully, but I think the good part of that is that people pretty much agree that these issues are serious and they have to be addressed.
We were really worried that people were not going to care because we were young, and that was a real eye-opener, that it's not only us care about it, but we can be taken seriously.
Ultimately, it's mainly a societal problem, as it starts with education.
Food is the source of so many things. Food is the source of your health. It can be the source of your attitude, your mindset, your brain function, and it can also be a source of community.
I want them to know it's not as hard as they think to live a more sustainable life than they're living now.
As long as you feel like you're doing your small part, that's all you can do.
Now I view food so much differently, in the sense that I appreciate it more.